guys, welcome back to Calgary Barbell. I'm just finishing up my first little bit of training back after the new year, after Christmas and all that good stuff. I expected to be a lot fatter coming back. I was thinking I'd come back around 240, but I'm still sitting at about 233, so that works out well for me. Bench shirt's fitting a little tight, but that's a good thing. Yesterday came in and did some squats. Those once more were not very good. Was kind of feeling all over the place. Ended up cutting a set of volume because of the pain, and just generally not a good thing. I think my squats and the pain that comes with them has a lot to do with some things going on in my hip. I went to see another sports medicine doctor this morning, and he has some ideas about my glute min actually not firing properly. So he's giving me some drills and stuff like that to try and work through that. I like his approach because it's not a quick, sexy fix. It's we're gonna do this for 3 weeks, come back, then we'll move on to phase 2. So it seems like he has a general direction he wants to work with me. I think that's gonna be a really good thing in terms of getting some hands-on rehab stuff. I know what I've been doing thus far up to this point has been helping, and we have been making small improvements, but hopefully this speeds things along in terms of my recovery. I'm confident I'll come back in on Thursday, or I guess it'd be Friday this week, and the squats that I do then, I'm almost guaranteeing will be pain-free and great. I don't know why it seems to work out that way, where my first squats of the week are crap and my second ones feel really good. I think it has to do with some tightness in the right spots and that kind of stuff, but hopefully gonna make some programming adjustments to account for that. Yesterday I also got into my bench shirt and had probably the best session I've had to date in my bench shirt. I just kind of went for it and decided I'd try and use a little bit more weight to help me push the bar down to my chest. And I got within 1.5 to 2 board range with 220. And probably some of the speediest singles or speediest presses that I've ever done in a bench shirt. But definitely faster than the 200 that I pressed at, what was that, Power Surge. So super stoked on that. Hopefully another 5 to 10 kilos we'll see that touch, but we'll have to see. Today came in, did some deadlifts, worked up to a single at 360 kilos, which is 793, and just barely missed that one at lockout. Kind of caught my finger. That same thing that happened to me at Power Surge with my deadlift, so I need to try and get something figured out with just sort of how I'm locking it out. I think I ended up with a little bit of chalk on my fingertips again, which kind of screwed me over, and it starts to open my hand as I come up my thigh. I'll probably go ahead and wear my singlet the next time I'm doing heavy deadlifts, just to make sure I can recreate that, whatever I end up figuring out for competition day. Then I did 8 sets of 5 with 282 kilos, which is about 620, and that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I was screaming and yelling and complaining, but it wasn't that bad. So our question of the day today is from Kevin Thomas, and he asked, what are your thoughts on accommodating resistance? Is there a place for this tool for a raw powerlifter? If so, what quality are you developing by using these? All right, Kevin, so he's interested because he's seen me using chains on my deadlifts. Now, the reason that I've been using chains every week and as often as I do is because I am actually, I guess I could call myself an equipped powerlifter, although I'd be hesitant to do that. I am a guy who lifts in equipment sometimes. But because of that, the accommodating resistance for me actually helps to recreate the sort of force curve that we're gonna see in equipment, where we're getting a little bit of assistance through the bottom portion of the lift, and we're obviously doing more of the work with our own muscular strength towards the top end of the movement. So having the weight go from lighter to heavier can help recreate that without the added stress of getting into the suit and actually using more weight throughout the full range of motion. One of the things that you could use that for as a raw lifter is just an overload tool. There are definitely some benefits to that. I especially think for chains more so than bands. I think if you're a raw lifter or even an equipped lifter, personally in my experience, the chains actually allow me to more accurately recreate the groove that I want to be using, whereas I find bands tend to make things wobbly, or to, depending on how you set them up, pull you backwards or forwards, or pull your groove down or forward, or whatever. So I find the bands can actually kind of throw you off a little bit, whereas I think the chains have some benefit, especially in the bench I've found, because right where you sort of transition out of your pecs and delts into your triceps finishing the movement, if you set the chains just right, you can get a lot of extra force right at that point of that sort of sticking point and transition point. And that's something that for me as a raw lifter was rough for a long time. And I think that's part of why shirted benching has helped so much, because it really emphasizes that transition. I think also maybe for a conventional deadlifter where you're seeing the chains pile up towards that sort of sticking point. Now, obviously a more effective way would probably be to do to train more of the range of motion, right? Because if you're training more of the range of motion, you're going to get stronger as you're accelerating and not lose that momentum. But I also think as maybe a secondary or even tertiary tool, you could use the chains or accommodating resistance to hammer a sticking point, or to make sure that you're smoother through your lockout and that kind of thing. So that's my take on accommodating resistance. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stoked to be doing more of these. Getting excited about nationals coming up. I'm going to be definitely taking another stab at the sort of 790 to 800 deadlift range, and hopefully seeing that squat progress more and more, and hopefully getting a touch out of the bench shirt. But definitely lots I'm looking forward to in my training, so stay tuned as we ramp up into nationals. It's going to be damned exciting. So hit that subscribe button to keep up. Like if you liked the video. Thanks to everybody for giving us feedback, asking more questions. All that kind of stuff is very greatly appreciated, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.